Okay, we're back again. This time we're looking at the verb to do, an extremely important verb in English. On a prior video I looked at the verb to get, which is also a very important verb. And I guess you could say that to get is one of the most important, with the exception of to be being the most important. But another very important verb in English is the verb to do. And it's important in its own light, but it's also important because a lot of people, especially people who might not have two different verbs, like in English, to do something versus to make something. So to understand the distinction sometimes can be very difficult. Even for an English speaker, sometimes it can be very difficult to understand when you do something versus when you make something. And the problem is that sometimes the two verbs are synonyms. Not all the time, maybe not even most of the time, but sometimes they are synonyms, but not all the time. Okay, so once again, I'm going to be looking at the computer that is looking at our website of where there's a list of all these verbs and all these expressions. So I'm reading from the website, and the websites are, let me give them to you, CorralaFicklin.com, and Corrala is CARRALA, F as in food, ICKLIN.com, Welcome.com. Welcome is spelled WYLCOME.com, and the last one is askplain, and it's a play on explain, but it's askplain.com. So you can get what I'm reading and look at it and analyze it and do whatever you need to do. You can download it. Everything is for free at any of those websites. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the verb to do. First, we're going to be looking at just the verb to do and all the different ways it's used in English. Then we're going to look at, in another video, some expressions with the verb to do. There are zillions of expressions with the verb to do. Okay, so to do, it's used in English with the majority of verbs in order to form a question or negative statement. The verbs, but it's not used with all verbs. It's not used with the verb to be. It's not used with the auxiliaries can, must, should, or might. An example would be, and this is a negative, I do not like him at all. They did not go to the school. Do you speak English? So there, that's the verb to be. To do, to do. To do, used in English with the exception of such verbs as to be, can, must, should, or might, when referring back to another verb. You usually can't, if you're going from one language to another, to do in this respect you really can't translate. For example, I speak English and so does Mary. Jean-Paul works in the new startup, but his wife doesn't. Okay, now you can see that I used the verb to do, and I speak English and so does Mary, which means I speak English and Mary speaks English. Jean-Paul works in the new startup, but his wife doesn't, which means Jean-Paul works in the new startup, but his wife doesn't work in the new startup. But you don't need to repeat all of that in English, okay? To do, used in English with the exception of the verbs to be, can, must, should, or might in polite request. Depending on the context, to do can be translated as please. For example, do sit down and rest. You look so tired. Do take as much as you like. So you could say do sit down and rest, or you can say please sit down and rest. That's a little bit formal, but it's said. You know, there's times when you're going to go into a situation in English where you're either going to hear more formal English, or you're going to be expected to speak more formal English. Okay? It's also used in tag questions. You like having your own business, don't you? You don't eat meat, do you? Okay. Let's see. Used in English as a short answer to a question. Do you speak English? Yes, I do. Or, no, I don't. It's also used in English. To do is also used when you want to emphasize something. Now, normally to do is used in questions and in negative statements. And you normally don't use it when it comes to affirmative statements. But you can if you want to emphasize something. For example, you can say, and no problem, I speak English. But let's say there's someone who doesn't believe you, or who's saying, you don't speak English. No. Yeah, everybody knows your native language is Spanish. And you go, no, I speak English. And the person says, no, you don't. You say, I do speak English. I do, I do understand English. There to do, and you can't really translate it, is to emphasize the fact, is to bring home the fact that yes, I do, and not stop questioning me, but please stop doubting that what I'm saying is true. Let me see now. This next one is to do can also mean to act, to make happen, to not remain still or indifferent. An example would be, I need you to do something. This is a problem that must be solved now. Okay, to do, and we're talking about a meal in a restaurant, means to serve or to offer. They do breakfast from 6 o'clock in the morning until closing. The food is delicious. So they do breakfast means they serve breakfast. Let me give you about two more. To do, which means to create, to design, to form, to shape, to fashion. He will do a wonderful job. I have seen all his paintings and they are fantastic. He will paint, or he will design or form. Okay, so do there is a synonym to create, to design, to paint. And one more, to do, which means to visit or to go see. We can visit the zoo tomorrow. Today I would like to do all the different museums in the downtown area. So if you would like to do all the museums in the downtown area, it means I would like to visit or I would like to see. So to do, as you can see, and I'm only giving you just a few examples, has a lot of different meanings. It's one of the verbs that has some of the most important meanings in the English language. So in the next video or in another video, we'll look at more meanings of to do and more expressions with to do.